Hello, everybody, and welcome to another One Stop Wrestling podcast. I'm Alex, and today I'm joined by Rohit and Alfonso. And for today's topic, we're going to be discussing what is the best match in AEW history.
Wait,
Uh,
there is no intro for us this time. What's happening?
I was just going to ask how you are, actually, Alfonso.
No, but normally we get like a special adjective or something like a super intro.
I will,
What's
I
going
will,
on, man?
I will come up with a really good one for next week. I promise.
Okay, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
this is AEW related video. No, no storyline telling. Apparently,
Yeah, yeah. No, but let's be honest. I saw yesterday's show
hmm
where Sasha Banks made her debut. I'm sorry, Mercedes Monet, and it
yeah,
was a very good show. It wasn't like something out of the extraordinary, but it was good. The main event with Willow and Riho was okay, and the first hour and a half was great. Warlow Samoa Joe was a good match. Kyle O'Reilly back is great to see, and also having Pac back is a great thing.
It
yeah,
was, yeah, it was
true.
a, it was a good show, and hopefully AEW are now on a bit of an upward trajectory. They've had a good few weeks, really. And the reason we've come up with the topic of what is the best match in AEW history is because of Will Ospreay's last couple of matches in AEW. So he had the absolute banger with Konosuke Takeshita at Revolution, which our good friend Dave Meltzer rated 5.75 stars,
No,
and
not
his
surprised.
match with Kyle Fletcher on Dynamite, which Meltzer also rated 5 stars. So that just got me thinking. AEW is well known for its amazing in-ring matches, and with so many to choose from, we thought we'd have a go and pick and decide what we think is the best match in AEW history. This is obviously a really hard topic to discuss because there are so many great in-ring matches. So let's get into it. We'll start with you, Alfonso. What do you think is the best match in AEW history?
I have a little list because it's very difficult to choose only one.
It
Like
really is, isn't it?
Like the best thing about AEW is that they have given us at least two or three matches of the year each year. Like it doesn't
Yeah,
matter if day to day or week by week shows are with no storylines, are very shitty, the build and everything. The pay-per-views almost always deliver. And it's amazing. Also, I'm a little bit biased because as you guys know, I love CM Punk, and he was there for a while,
mm,
and he had some amazing matches. So I'm going to start with one of the matches that I think is one of the best matches I have ever seen on free TV, and is when Collision was cooking like really, really a good show. Is the 2 out of 3 falls FTR versus Bullet Club Gold match. I
Oh, that
think
match was
that's
so good.
yeah,
for
that was
me, for me, is one of the best tag team matches ever. Like I can say it ever. Like I don't mean it only like in AW. I don't mean it in WWE. I mean ever. Like it
I
was
agree.
it was really an hour long match. It was a great match, and I could be done with that, and that's okay. You know,
yeah,
it has no story. It was okay, and that's a great match. Like first great pick. But then I start thinking about what if I like really really good pro wrestling, and I think about MJF against Brian Danielson at Revolution 2022.
23.
I'm sorry, 23,
Yeah.
and I think that Iron Man match is the best Iron Man match ever. For me, it is, and that's amazing. Like if you really think about it, AW is a very young company, and they have put some of the greatest matches ever. And as you guys know, I watch more
yeah,
WWE than AEW, but you have to give credit what credit is due. And yeah, Brian Danielson is the best wrestler alive. But my favorite match ever, it has to go something like this: love your hate, your fate lost, you are one of us.
Mi-
Is yeah, Miseria Cantaré.
Miseria Canter, the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, is CM Punk MJF dog collar match at Revolution 2022. And for that match, I picked it because it's the story as well, the promos before the match, and everything that led to that moment, the Raven callback and everything from that match. I think is one of my favorite match ever, one of my favorite CM Punk matches ever, and for me, that match was the one that really proved that CM Punk still got it, you know, because when he came back, he was good, he was great, and everything, but I still didn't have that CM Punk moment. I was like, oh my god, I'm so happy that he's back wrestling with the best crop of wrestlers, and that match proved it for me. I was very close, very close to choose CM Punk versus Joe at All In London, just because I think it's very funny to see that match and knowing what we know right now, what happened before and what happened after, and seeing that guy just don't give a fuck and come with a big smirk in his mouth, knowing that he had just fucked up Jack Perry before. I think it's amazing. And yeah, I think those three matches for me are the best matches, and it's difficult because I didn't put any more Okada matches. I didn't put any Zack Saber Jr. matches in there, and I'm very excited to see what you guys think about these matches and what are your choices because it's amazing.
Well, that's you've done a great job there, Alfonso. Your choices, yeah, they are some of the best matches in AEW history. They, I'm going to go next because you've led me perfectly into my sort of top three picks. Well, it's happened
As
again,
always.
Alfonso. It's happened again. I hate you because the best match in AEW history is CM Punk versus MJF at Revolution 22.
Of course.
That's my pick. That is my pick. I think it's the best match. I think the story was brilliant. You like when CM Punk arrived, people were immediately saying, when's he going to go toe to toe with MJF on the microphone? Because like not many people, if anybody, really got close to MJF on the mic because he's so talented. And then Punk came in, and the idea of those two going head to head was so appealing. And then when it happened, they just made magic on the microphone, and they built up such a hot feud. And like the story that went with it had to end in some kind of, like violent stipulation, like a dog collar match. So a lot of the time AEW just throw out like, oh, let's have a tables match or let's have a Texas death match with like no story. And like those matches are fun, but they're not memorable because of the lack of story. And this Punk MJF match had everything. It had the story, it had the reasoning to have a bloody violent match. It was like the end of a feud. And I love the finish of the match too, where uh, MJF has been pretty horrible to Wardlow leading up to the match, and then uh, he asked for the ring, the Dynamite Diamond ring off Wardlow, and Wardlow shakes his head, and CM Punk picks it up and whacks MJF and wins the match, and it's like the perfect ending as well to that feud. That is, I believe, that is the best match in AEW history. So yeah, great pick, Alfonso, and you've stolen my thunder once again. I think like me and you are just like mad CM Punk fans, so we might
That
be a little bit biased, but like that match was incredible.
you know
I still
what?
can't forgive
You
CM
know
Punk.
you know what? It makes me a little bit sad that that's your pick. You know why?
Why?
Because WrestleMania is around the corner. I'm having some friends over to see the Mania, and I'm just sad because I wish I was in the UK watching Mania with you guys. because I feel like we will have so much fun, and I think this Mania is going to be awesome. I think watching wrestling is going to be awesome, and I promise I will get to the UK one day and watch wrestling with you guys, because every time we speak about our favorite something, most of times we are very giddy and and we're very happy talking about
Yeah,
it, and I think
It's
that's
true.
what's beautiful about wrestling.
it,
and and also I think it's great to have like Rohit with his obscure matches, and I'm pretty sure you choose like a random ass match for this pick too. So let's hear it, Rohit.
yeah. Before you go, Rohit, yeah, great point, Alfonso. And whenever you can get over to England, please come over as soon as possible.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, I'll just mention a couple of others that I thought are like,
Yeah.
right up there in like the top five, top three sort of matches. Like the first ever pay per view, Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes, amazing
Yeah.
match. That's kind of what put AEW on the map a little bit, and everyone took notice and thought, "Wow, is this the sort of thing they're going to be delivering every week or every pay per view?" And it was amazing. Like, what a start for the company to have that match on their first pay per view. And another favorite of mine is Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page when Hangman Page becomes the AEW World Champion for the first time. That was Full Gear 2021. Um, I thought the long-term storytelling for that match was like really good because it went all the way back to almost the first pay-per-view where Hangman failed to capture the title and then had this sort of 2-year journey to eventually get his shot. And Kenny Omega was like a massive heel at that point. Hangman Page was like the biggest babyface. Like that's great storytelling. You have your number one heel as the champion, your number one babyface, and the babyface goes over and the crowd go wild. And obviously with Kenny and Hangman, it's a really, really great in-ring match as well. Like they had great chemistry, and that's one of my favorites as well.
And again, it's amazing. Those two matches are not in my top five.
Really, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
like for me, better than those two matches is Swerve against Hangman Page.
yeah. I mean,
It's
yeah.
different styles,
That's
it's
Yeah.
different kind of wrestling, you know?
it's a
I mean,
memorable
there's
match.
a lot of good matches AEW have had over the short history, so I'm not surprised.
So many to choose from. So yeah, go on, Rohit. We'll save the best for last. What do you think is the best match in AEW history?
CM Punk fans, I'm disappointed that you haven't mentioned CM Punk's best AEW match. The match where he was calm, respectful, and yeah, it wasn't the longest or the best quality match, but it felt like a nice match, and that's CM Punk versus Satoshi Kojima. Nah, that's a bit of a joke. I wouldn't put that anywhere near the top of it,
But
but
you wait.
you
That's a
got
top 10 match just because of the elbow to the balls.
that's true. That was funny. That
Yeah.
That
honestly
was
was funny.
Forbidden Door last year, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, last year,
Yes.
yeah. No, but all jokes aside, well, before I move on to my actual pick, I do not forgive CM Punk because of him. He sent Jack Perry to New Japan, and we have Gato doing some terrorism style booking, and no one likes it. But yeah, basically, if you don't know, Jack Perry has joined the House of Torture faction, and no one likes that. So
So Jack Perry has come in and ruined New Japan Pro Wrestling, and it's all CM Punk's fault.
basically, it's like every foreigner needs to have a black leather jacket wearing, saying, "Yeah, I'm a heel bad guy, I'm a foreigner. Yeah, I'm gonna
That just
cheat.
make
Yeah."
that that just make the theory that CM Punk was a double agent all along more stronger, you know? He he went to AW, he fucked AW, then he made Jack Perry go to New Japan, he fucked New Japan, and then he came back to WWE.
CM Punk's
Basically,
just a massive prick.
but well, all seriously, moving on to some actual picks. We got there's like so many good matches for like AEW over the course of their short existence, and One of the matches I want to mention is, since we've already mentioned some tag team matches and obviously some singles matches, obviously, I would like to give a shout out to a women's match, which is Hikaru. It was Holiday Bash last year. Was it last year or was it the year before? No, she was
It would have
injured
been
last year.
2022. Yeah.
2022, yeah. That's one of the more standout women's matches. I know, like, women's booking and the roster at the time maybe not as depthful, whereas now it's like very well, like with the addition of Diana Perazzo, Maria Murray, is that how you pronounce it? I think it was.
Mariah May. Yeah.
Maria Murray, yeah, and then obviously Mercedes Monet. But yeah, I think Shida versus Hayter was like, I know Jamie Hayter with the injury, her momentum got cut short, but because Shida has been like a stalwart of the AEW Women's Division, three-time AEW Women's Champion as well. I think it's three times. I believe it's three times, right?
I think so. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know the last one was, I think, a bit shorter, but it made sense, right, long-term wise. And yeah, they had
And
a great match.
sorry,
And yeah,
Rohi, I didn't mean to cut you off. While you're
but,
on the subject of
yeah.
great women's matches,
hmm
another one that is often heralded as one of the best matches, male or female, is Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa in the Lights Out match.
That's another one I forgot about. Yeah, that's true. Again, I think those two are great that you mentioned that. Thanks for that. Yeah, those two are definitely like two standout women's matches and just wrestling matches in general. But I thought we'd give a little bit of shine to the women's, of AEW as well, because even though booking wise and in terms of like timing and match wise and television time, they haven't been treated maybe as well. I think it's gotten better, and I think it will get better hopefully. But from what they've done with what they've given, I think they've done really well and they have left their mark. And yeah, I thought I'd give a shout out to them. Another one that I really like, which, you know, we all are somewhat CM Punk fans. I know you two are more super fans, but on the opposite spectrum, we're not the biggest Young Bucks fans. But to their credit, they've had some good matches, and the match I'm going for with them is the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers at All
Oh
Out
yeah.
2020, was it, or 2021?
2021, the Steel
20,
Cage match.
yes, that's
Yeah.
the one. I really like that. I think athletically, in terms of like their chemistry together and their insanity and what they're willing to do, it's just crazy. And it's a good. I think it's a good matchup for them. It's like
But
it's
that
almost like the Hardys versus Edge and Christian, how they had that
Yeah.
chemistry. It's kind of like that between the Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks, I feel like.
but that match has become a problem because for me that's where they
Mhm.
peaked in AEW
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
say that, but
because the Bucks
yeah,
haven't had like a match close to that level of good. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, and the Lucha Bros are lost in the shuffle right now.
Yeah.
yeah,
It
it's true.
interesting. Interestingly, that's my fiance's favorite ever AEW match. Like she's
Mhm.
probably the definition of a casual fan, but she watched it for the first like 3 or 4 years, and that's her favorite
Yeah,
match. It was a great match. Also, Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega and Hangman Page was also a great
yeah,
match. That was
that's another great match.
Revolution 2020, I
20, I
think.
think it was.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah,
You,
of
you know
course. Yeah.
something I realized while choosing the matches is that Revolution is the best pay per view they have. Like
It
if you go to see Revolution, you have like a top 10 of matches only on Revolution pay per views. It's amazing.
it does seem that way.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I feel like people are dubbing like All Out or All In as like their WrestleMania, I guess. But I feel like All In should be seen as like TNA Slammiversary, like the Slammiversary, like as an anniversary event where they founded. And then I feel like Revolution at the moment. I mean, I guess you have Full Gear too, but at the moment, I feel like it's Revolution that's like the big show with big matches
It
and
has
like.
been every year, hasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like Revolution is like they're bound for glory, the WrestleMania, the Wrestle Kingdom. Obviously, it's not presented that way yet. It might do in the future, But I feel like that's kind of what like I feel like as a fan watching. I feel like All In is like, oh, it's the anniversary show that every year they celebrate. Cool, and then Revolution is like the big show, like the big pay per view of the year. That's how I kind of perceive it.
And you know
Obviously,
why? You know why?
Well,
Because they are a wrestling company and not an entertainment company.
yeah.
So they don't know how to put like these huge spectacles, but they
Hmm.
know how to book great matches.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
definitely argument to be made for that, but I feel like they haven't kind of like decided on anything yet in terms of
Yeah,
like
exactly.
what's a big show.
They don't have
Mm,
like a made
mm,
identity, you know.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I think that's okay. But that's okay.
of
Like
course.
it doesn't matter. But right now they are finding again their stride, and they have to keep going with right now how they're doing. They have to wait
Yeah.
until the MJF is healed. They have to wait Adam Cole that is healed. But
Hmm.
some guys are coming back. You have Okada in. You can make some
Yeah.
great wrestlings, and I'm pretty sure next year we're going to find a lot of maybe Kyle O'Reilly in our list, or maybe Okada in our list.
Their roster is like as stacked as it's ever been now, especially with Osprey and Okada
Mhm.
joining.
For
I
sure.
mean, with Okada joining the Elite, you know what's going to happen, what that's going to lead to, and if I have
Yeah,
to
of
spell it
course.
out for
Yeah.
you, Omega Okada 5.
Yeah, yeah.
That's happening. But
I I just want
speaking
to
of
say
Omega,
something. I just
Kenny
want to
Omega
ask you.
with Osprey as well. I'm gonna throw that
Yeah,
out. But go ahead, Alfonso. Yeah.
I just want to ask you guys a favor. I
Hmm.
need you guys to say rough to me in the English accent because I love how Will Osprey say it. But I cannot do that accent, you know.
All
Bruh,
right, bruv.
bruv,
Thank you very much.
That's all right. Anytime,
bruh.
Alfonso.
Oh, that's
Right.
the other one. Bruh. That's the other
Bruv.
one version that people say. Bruh or bruv.
They need to print that on a t-shirt. It'll sell loads. Right,
Yeah.
we've digressed. So Rohit, two great picks so far. I'm
Yeah.
guessing those were your two and three. So what's your number one?
Number one is a tricky one, really. I mean, for me personally, I think it has to be Kenny Omega Will Ospreay at the Forbidden Door last year.
Yeah,
But if we're going strictly, because at the time it was New Japan and it's crossover show, if we're going strictly um, AEW, I would probably go with Brian Danielson versus Kenny Omega at Grand Slam. I don't remember what year that was. I think it was Grand Slam.
that was the hour
Dynamite
time
Grand Slam?
limit. Was it draw?
I believe so. That was the one, yeah.
Yes, that match was phenomenal. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So I would go with one of those two. And again, so many different great matches over the years. Like obviously there's still like was it Brian Danielson versus Jack Sabre Jr. At
yeah.
WrestleMania there was Brian Danielson versus Ricky Starks.
Oh
The
yeah,
And
strap match.
that one was
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the one that we're gonna be talking about is gonna be Will Ospreay versus Brian Danielson. Probably that's probably gonna get
I'm pretty sure they're going to
yeah.
destroy everything. I That match needs
Mhm.
to be at least 1 hour long, please.
I mean, we'll see. And I think that's like I think there's only two matches announced so far, aren't there? Or is it just that one kind of announced? Don't know.
This is AEW Dynasty.
Yeah, I think it's just that. Well, I don't even know if it's officially announced, but they're hinting towards it, which is most
Yeah,
likely
yeah,
gonna happen at
It's
Dynasty.
officially announced.
yeah.
Osprey and
It's
Danielson.
officially announced.
Yesterday.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes
And
sense. Yeah.
next week we have Adam Copeland. I'm sorry, Edge. I cannot call him Adam Copeland. He's weird. And
Yeah.
Christian Cage are going to have I quit match next week on free
Interesting.
TV.
Yeah.
I mean, this
Yeah.
is AEW, isn't it? They churn out fantastic match after fantastic match every single week. Um, the little thing for me, I just
Yeah.
wish they would add a bit more story to things like even like Osprey and Danielson. Like if they gave it like a little story to that, some kind of backstory instead of just I'm great, you're great, let's fight to see who's the best. They
Next
could,
week, next week we're having Kingston against Okada with no story for the titles.
I mean, there's a bit of story. Like joined early, turned heels, attacked Kingston.
But You know what I mean,
You know.
Rohit. It's
Yeah.
like you have to build up to a title match. I mean, I don't
Mhm.
mind them facing each other, but don't do it for the titles. Just wait a bit and do it in Dynasty for the titles.
I think it's because everyone knows Kada ain't gonna win that, is he?
How do
I,
you
I,
know?
I think it's just, everybody's got their own taste. That's my personal preference. I prefer
Yeah.
story-driven
Hmm.
matches. Generally, AEW fans, the general AEW hardcore fan, just loves to see great matches, and that's
I
what they
think
do
it
best.
just yeah, I think it just depends on how much like story people want. I think for certain matches, I think it can get away with it. But then in certain matches, we've had good stories. Like with Page versus Moxley, Page versus Swerve, Ricky Stark to Brian Danielson. So just on top of my head, some examples. Like so, I guess it's just like finding the right balance. I guess and and obviously with you, Alex, you're quite used to the way WWE presents, its product. So I think that
Yeah,
also is a factor, really. I feel like, but yeah, I
I
do
just
agree. Some, Sometimes you
yeah, I know
do
what you
need
mean.
some
I know
more.
what you mean. I'm
Yeah,
conditioned to that, but I just feel like if there's a great
Mhm.
story, you don't actually need to do a hell of a lot to
Yeah,
make it really good in the ring. Um,
it's true. It's
but
true.
yeah. Let's wrap it up there, guys. Some absolutely brilliant matches in the short history of AEW. So many to pick from, but yeah, there you have it. Those were our choices. What was your favorite match? Don't forget to like and subscribe to One Stop Wrestling on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
Alfonso and Rohit, thank you so much for this week, guys.
No worries. And before we go, fun fact: if anyone's interested, Jack Perry is currently competing in the New Japan Cup in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he's gonna have a rematch from Forbidden Door. I think it was Forbidden Door against Sanada in this. I think it's in the semi-finals or top quarterfinals. I can't remember which one
Oh,
it was.
oh my.
So yeah, if you're interested in that, check that out as well. But yeah,
Yeah, go and check it out. Good plug, Rohit. And thank you very much, gentlemen. And we will see you next time for another One Stop Wrestling podcast. Ciao.
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 Ciao.